Hello, everyone. As you may recall, if you'd watched my video regarding the what was it, the sealed event, I commented on Garruk's Uprising possibly being a really good card in Standard. And then recently on one of the Facebook groups that I follow for Magic the Gathering, I noticed there are a ton of people commenting saying that you really can't use this outside of EDH. And so I decided that I was going to go ahead and just challenge that notion. By which I mean we're going to go ahead and build a completely brand new deck from the ground up and see if it actually has potential. Now, off the top of my head, everything in Standard that would work for a deck that would make this card hold its value. Well, first off, let's actually read it. It says, when Garruk's Uprising EBFs, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card. All creatures you control have trample, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So, basically, what this does is it's a card that wants to take advantage of big creatures with power 4 or greater, being there. It counts, enters the battlefield as opposed to cast triggers, which means we can take advantage of things that come in with counters, come in with size dependency, so on and so forth. You can get extra value by drawing cards off of it, and of course you also have the fact that your creatures will get trample. Now, the creatures I think you can take advantage of most in this deck are mostly going to be in green, but I think we could possibly take a gander over at red, possibly white, to see what our best options are. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could successfully build this in a mono green form, which, let's go ahead and take these Castle Garen Briggs, just in case, because this does help us ramp only in the slightest. And since this is specifically for creatures, and what we're building is definitely going to be a very creature-dependent deck, I think that's a good option to go with. Even though we definitely want bigger stuff, I wouldn't say it would be a bad idea to put it in the Arboreal Grazer, but we can take a look at that in a little bit. First, let's actually go ahead and take a look at some of our other green options. You know what? Pelt Collector could also take advantage of the fact that we're constantly going to have big stuff coming in. He'll just grow on his own, so let's go ahead and put in those. They don't really fit with the Garruk Uprising part, but it's a good one drop that just gets better as time goes on. Let's see. Veil of Summer, which is banned. Nothing really exciting here. Not finding anything here that's going to fit my needs. Well, we do have the Drowsing Pteranodon, but this isn't something that has 4 or greater. It just benefits from things being 4 or greater. And of course, we are still pretty much exclusively looking for things that EVFs with 4 or greater. I would say that because we're going to be dealing with kill triggers, Heroic Intervention may not be a bad idea. So we'll go ahead and drop our 3 copies of that in there. Kind of Transformation, Once Upon a Time, Nisa's Triumph, Crunch Wrangler, Leaf Cane Druid. Nope, nothing here. Paradise Druid, Plummet. Poland Bright Druid, Rabid Bite, Ram Through, Return to Nature. Things are getting returned to nature, alright. Yeah, still not really seeing a whole lot of big stuff. Tutorial Brawl, Titanic. Okay. Wildborn Preserver, Centaur Coursers, Bands Together, Arlen's Wolf, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Fertilid, Evolution Sage, Ferocious Pup, Gift of Paradise, Giant Opportunity. This could be, at the very least, amusing. Yeah, because this creates giants. We'll come back to that because it's still 3 mana for either create foods or create a giant, but that would still be a pretty interesting thing to mess with. And again, we don't need cast, we need enters the battlefield, so that could potentially work. But overall, that's still a 6 mana investment, plus you have to have the 2 food around. And then again, food could help you get to the late game. I don't know, I don't feel comfortable with that. Nyx Herald. Love-Struck Beast. Well, we need to rely on having 1/1s. It works well in the adventure deck because we have other 1/1s, but outside of the humans that it itself creates, the only 1/1 that I think we'd end up using is Pelt Collector, which immediately becomes a 2/2 as the Love-Struck Beast EBFs. So that's probably not going to work out super well. Omen of the Hunt. I know omens are pretty good. Search your library for basic, put it into the battlefield tapped, and then later you can sack to scry. Not really feeling it. Still not seeing anything with big enough power and toughness here. Oh, this is a utility card right here. So this is the 3 mana Vivian. You can cast creatures as if they had flash. You can give 1 target creature Vig and Reach, and you could also look at the top 3 cards of your library and exile 1. So you basically get access to something that's on the top. So yeah, maybe not. I wish this was a 4/3 instead of what it is. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, Yorvo. If I remember right, he EBFs with 4 1/1 counters on him. But I only have 1 copy. And I only have 2 extra rares. That's unfortunate. Still, if we did go mono green, that would probably be a good card for the build. Here we go. I know most of the time you mutate this, which isn't necessarily bad, but let's also consider the fact that it is on its own a 4/4, and if we need to hard cast it, that's value. And if not, it gives trample and reach, whereas the trample will be relevant if we don't have Garruk's Uprising on the battlefield. Leyline of Abundance. That only matters if you're relying on stuff that... oh, hey, check this out. If your devotion to green is less than 5, it's not a creature. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So that's already good. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you can put it into your graveyard. How many extra mythics do I have? 1. I'm down to mess with that. Okay, so moving along here. Where 10's power is equal to your devotion to green, and depending on what we choose to use, that shouldn't be that hard to pull off. So since I already have 4 copies of it, I'm down to experiment with using that at first. Shifting Ceratops can't be countered pro blue, and you can give it either reach, trample, or haste until end of turn. Fits the needs. We're short 1. I don't know if I want to use up my rare yet. Because it's a 4 mana, so yeah, we'll wait to dedicate like that. Sterix. That's better in mutate heavy decks, so I don't think we're going to be using that. God Eternal Ronus. This doubles power in toughness and gives vigilance, and if we have trample, the doubled power and toughness is going to work out pretty heavily in our favor. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. We still need stuff that doesn't cost quite as much mana. I know if we run over to red, we can pick up a few things, like Bone Crusher Giant is the first thing that comes to me off the top of my head. This is extra value right here. This is nothing else. Gives us beasts. I just wish they were bigger beasts. Maybe we'll leave that alone for now. let's see here. Feasting Troll King. That would be nice, but it's also 6 mana. It does have Vigilance and Trample. You can create 3 food tokens, and if we use that along with the other thing that we were looking at earlier, that could potentially benefit us. Look at this Hydra here, but that's a bit more Hydra relevant. Still. Well, with that converted mana cost, I'm not entirely sure I'd want to dedicate. Ooh, you know what? For high mana costs and value, we could take advantage of this Kolga over here, so we can go ahead and take that. Oh, here we go. This is ramp plus a big creature later on. It's not the best ramp option, but, yeah. We still got a bunch of really big stuff. We need more early game options, and that's what we're severely lacking in. This gives trample counters. I like this in each. That would be a pretty good finisher right there. I don't know if I really want to use that. I don't see us using black, at least not off the top of my head. I don't think we will, because those are typically very specific plays. But red is a possibility. Let's see, check this out. This one you can either have it fight or beast with trample. And if we go red, we can use Rhythm of the Wild. That's something. You could potentially use Clothis, although I don't think that would actually benefit us. Growl Spellbreaker, although that's right, would pretty much have to just be the counters. Although I don't know if that's actually how... I don't think Riot would work in a way that would benefit us. This would be a good one. Sunder Shaman. But we already have Artifact and Enchantment Control with Gem Razor. Although that one's entirely based off of Mutate. Nikea, that's ramp, but it's kind of late game. I have another deck that messes with her. Let's see. Ironroot Warlord. This could, depending on the way that we play it out, end up being a 3-drop that can trigger the Garruk's Uprising. I don't think we're going to use that, though. I'm really just not seeing what I want to see here. You got ramp, you got all kinds of general Simic nonsense. Although, you know, I will say this is definitely going to be an interesting direction to go, especially with Kinnan in the future. No Parcel Beast, the Zanaga. I don't think that Tamio would do us any good. Well, there's Uro, and he technically EBFs before he gets sacked, so I mean that could be 2 card draws. We could potentially go full on Teamer. There are some pretty awesome Teamer options these days. You know, we could drop that 1 copy of Genesis Ultimatum, for example. There's Iluna. I don't think I'd mess around with Song of Creation, honestly. That would be a very specific build, and I don't think I have the stuff for that specific build. So, alright, let's go ahead and jump over to red and see if we want to go rule here. I think it could definitely increase our overall options. Kind of got to stay away from the burn. We need to find things that have a low converted mana cost with high power toughness. And again, the only thing I can really think of off of the top of my head would be Bonecrusher Giant, as far as EBF abilities. Or not abilities, but just being able to enter. Oh, check out this art for Thrill. I didn't even know this came out. Shows how much I pay attention to that. Annex, that one's dependent. Let's see, there's the Bone Crusher Giant, but I don't know if I really want to put in my last 4 for just that one off. I want to see if there's anything else in here that would make me more inclined to go red other than just using Bone Crusher Giant. See, red doesn't have a whole lot. Oh, check this out actually before I speak. Hey, this Phoenix mutates. When it mutates, you can create and return target Phoenix. That would be kind of interesting for a full tribal Phoenix build, maybe on like Pioneer or something. Gore Clan Rampager, Skeleton Rider. Wait, hold up. What's this one based off of? Instant Sorceries in the Grave. Shoot. That's not gonna work. I think we're pretty much just gonna go green. Discarding number of cards. Well, I'm thinking we might use the Arboreal Grazer as another early game option. I just, let's see. This is a demigod, so you could still mutate onto it, and I think everything else is mutatable. Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure that Gem Razor doesn't go completely dead in the hands. Oh, you know what? Ratana is a legendary, so we don't want to have as many copies of her. Maybe 3, maybe 2. Let's go 2. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to go for the mono green build, and I think what we'll do is we'll add the Arboreal Grazers, and then we'll find that king. Where is he? Did I pass it already? I don't think so. Here it is, Yorble. So go ahead and put in another copy of him. And let's see how this does. I mean, we got ramp, we got something that gets bigger on its own. Everything can be mutated by Gem Razor. We have a pretty okay mana curve. And we finish off, we have some finishing options. I wouldn't necessarily call Kolga a finisher, but Kogla, whatever. It's knockoff King Kong. Yeah. Oof, that took a while. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna call this one Garruk Uprising Works. All right. Cool. Now let's see if the name holds up. I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I'm aiming for a ton of value and being able to get a bunch of damage off of that value. But we'll see. Okay. So we got 2 forests. We have a ramper in hands, but I'm gonna say mulligan. This one we can keep. I don't know what I want to put back though. We have the Uprising, we have Pelt Collector. I don't know. I think Ratana is what we'll put back because she herself, we can't guarantee is going to EBF as a 4. And right now our only guaranteed plays are Pelt Collector and Garruk's Uprising on turns 1 and 3 respectively. Actually, Garruk's Uprising, until right now, was on guaranteed play. You know, Pelt Collector would be a really good mutate target. Maybe I'll experiment with that in Okay. No attacks. Alright, Black, White, Knight, Tribal. I've seen this before. We'll go and put down another character. Uprising. Still no attacks. And then next turn we can go ahead and get our first draw off of it with the Shifting Ceratops. And the turn following that, we can definitely get a good attack from Ronus. Still no blocks. Harsh. Okay, so we are going to go Forest, Shifting Ceratops. Perfect. Okay. We want to possibly diminish the power of the Inspiring Veteran, so I will actually go ahead and attack with the Pelt Collector this time. It's either damage or lose the Veteran. Okay. So we're gonna go Forest. And let's see, with the way that this works, if I play that and then the Armored Killer, let's see here. I still get my draw from that. Then I can play a Pelt Collector. Actually, I should probably play the Pelt Collector first, so we will play the Pelt Collector first. And then we'll play Yorval. And then what I'll do is I'll mutate, we're not going to attack because I still want to be on the defensive right now. Trying to think here, because right now our opponent's going really wide. They now have something with Menace. I need to make sure my defenses are solid. Okay. I'm worried there's a bait and switch here. So I will put this Pelt Collector on the Inspired Veteran. We'll put that Pelt Collector on the Human. Let's see. 3/3 and Death Touch, so we might as well let that go through. And then we can double block the Storm Crusader because we don't want our opponent incurring value in the long run. Ideally, they don't figure out a way to kill Yorvo. But we'll see how this goes. Of course, Embercleave. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well on the plus side, I can still maintain Garruk and Invention, that helps a little bit. So we will mutate onto a Pelt Collector, suddenly making it enormous. And we will destroy Embercleave. Because, yes, I can do that. Next, I'm not as worried about damage on the follow-up, so we're going to go ahead and go in for 8. I have Heroic Intervention to prevent anything that can destroy anything that I have. Alright, he's going for the Anthem effect. Solve. Pelt Collector. Yeah, we really want to avoid taking a lot of damage. So we'll block here. Cast Stroke Dimension. Kind of an odd strategy, I think, in handling that situation. But I believe it's what we had to do. Now we're going to go for a big move right here. Check this out. So first we'll play our Forest. Gotta turn Moronis. I just realized something. Oh! Big quit. Okay, I just realized that since Gem Razor changes the name of Pelt Collector, as soon as it's mutated on top of Pelt Collector stops collecting counters, which would explain why he's not used in Mutate Boggle decks. But we won, so that was still pretty cool. I think there's still some edges that need to be sanded away here, but we can't make that judgment just off of one game alone, especially since it's a game we actually won anyway. So let's try another one. As you saw, we definitely got some value off of Garruk's Uprising, so that's not something that can be discounted. But the question is it enough to really keep this whole thing going? You know, now that I think about it, it could potentially be an okay card in some version of 4-color draw. Because, I mean, the only card we lose in 4-color draw during the upcoming rotation is Growth Spiral, because that goes out with one of the Ravnica sets. I can't remember which one. Everything else stays. Alright, so Arboreal Grazer, Forest. Yeah, I mean, we have our turns 1 and 2 play, so this is keepable, but not my favorite. Whoa. I remember this card. And I also note we are missing a Beanstalk Giant. Let's go ahead and play this Grazer and then we'll read this card. But we have our turn 3 play now too. When a rogue EBFs, each opponent mills 2 cards. The only other rogue I can think of is that red one that steals stuff from you, so I'm guessing... Whoa. Okay. Well, we're just gonna block you. Are they really going with Rogue Tribal, or is this just a good card in general? I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good card, I'm just wondering, what direction are we going here? So, Yorvo is down. The question is, can we get the mutators going? Okay. Must have had a bad hand. Either way, we can't really gain any data as to whether or not our deck was going to do good there. Cool, final prize. Let's go see if there's anything cool in that pack. Maybe it'll inspire me to build another deck. Or upgrade the current one, we'll see. To Grasp of Darkness, that's relevant. This is going to be huge. Oh, 9 lives! I want to build around this deck. I really do. This is going to be so cool. I sent my buddy a picture of the set. He loves cats. And I kid you not, an hour later he was making memes just of this art. It's... oh, it's hilarious. Like I said, I want to build a deck around this, but the thing is all it does is keep you from losing, so I'm trying to figure out exactly how you can most effectively benefit from, like, not losing, and most importantly, how to mitigate the amount of damage you get. Because ideally what you want to do is you want to have this hit the field, and then you want to figure out a way to keep your opponent from doing damage to you at all, or figure out a way to prevent counters from stacking up. Because, I mean, like I said, this is, all it does is keep you from moving, and it's very conditional, too, because it says if a source would deal damage to you. If someone could swing at you with 9 sources in one turn. That's more something that happens in EDH, but that's not to say it can't happen. Or even not even just 9 sources, just a couple of turns with a multitude of different sources. Or worse yet, you could be faced up against an aristocrat's deck, which does indirect damage a multitude of times over a single turn. There you go. So, I don't know. I think it'd be hilarious to put this in a deck with Harmless Offering, but then you need to reliably get it on the battlefield, plus Harmless Offering it over to your opponent, and that would be something you could only really do in Pioneer. So, but either way, that's 2 cards with cats on it. Speaking of cats, mine is terrorizing a shoe. All right, back to gameplay. I want to get 2 more games out of this before we call it. True Blue. You. Ugh. Not loving it. Yeah, this is definitely not McDonald's right here. Do I try it? I don't think so. Without the early game play, it's not a very comfortable hold. This one I can work with. It's not my favorite, but I'll just put a Heroic Intervention back. I hate not having a turn 1 play, or at least not an early game play. I hate not having a plan. Right now I don't have a plan, because I don't have something I can mutate Gem Razor onto. Ugh. Yeah. This is a bad hand. I don't think this game is going to go very well. Of course, I thought that when I mulled down to 5 and ended up winning that match, but that doesn't happen. I was with Symbiosis, by the way, from the game a few days ago now. Oh, he's just cycling it. Okay. Yeah, this is the red-white cycling deck. This is a very predictable deck. The key to beating this deck is destroying everything that actually hits the field, so that way their cycling doesn't do anything useful. Which would be a lot easier to do if I had Adventure. Oh, come on. Well, I suppose this gives me something to mutate onto. I wonder how that Devotion to Grain thing... Well, it says Renata, so... Yeah, if I mutate onto her, it's just a thing that gives benefit. Imagine mutating onto a zombie god. Oh, that's cool. Alright. Yeah, that enchantment, it's basically when you cycle, you get a 5/4 dinosaur. It's pretty cool, honestly. Alright, so we'll go ahead and drop Renata. Next turn, we can use Gem Razor to get rid of that Reptilian Reflection. I wonder how Gem Razor impacts Renata's Devotion. Because, I mean... Oh, come on, dude. That wasn't very cool. That was not very cash money of you. Where was it going? Oh yeah. Renata's devotion. If the mutate goes on to... Oh, that doesn't help at all. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we die next turn. The only thing I can think to stop it in the slightest is to put down a Downriser. But yeah, no, if Renata's mutated on top of, does it count her original converted mana cost plus the mutated creatures? Or what? I don't know. I would have to look up exactly how that works. I'll try to answer that in an upcoming video. I think we're gonna die. Yeah, we die here. Let's go ahead and concede. Or, no, they're attacking. We'll just let it go through. Yeah. Bad opening hand, we weren't really doing a whole lot. It's possible that the first one we had could have done better, but... I'm gonna spend some time doing some revision, and then we will come back to this experiment. But right now, I have a phone call, so thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.